Hello and welcome to Cyrils Brettspiele durchgespielt. My name is Nils, in a nutshell edition with Kakerlaloop from Ravensburger, or if you would translate it, cockroach looping. So, what is cockroach looping all about and what is in the box? This is a large box, as you can see, and it's quite light. So that's not a really heavy box. But what is in the box? So these are cool loopings here. A game board. Here's another cool looping. A game board. Here, this is plastic insert. That's very important. This game board has, by the way, two sides. This is a heavier one, and this is the entry level with a few less spots here. So what you're doing is you're putting these tiles here that they fit in perfectly in a looping in here and here as well. And then you have this little robot Kakerlaloop, or how you call that. This is a cockroach. So when you turn it on, you flip it over to the other side. There's a switch for on and off. It starts vibrating, and then you put it in here face first, that it goes into that looping and it goes through the looping. So now it's under the table. Each player starts his game with 3 of his bugs. Oh, there's a cockroach coming to the board. So each player starts here in the starting area, indicated with this little mouse here, with his bugs here in his own color. Let's say in this case we are playing a 3-player game. So here is the final arrow. You can see it on the leaves here. What you have to do is roll a die on your turn. So a 2, as long as the cockroach is under that area, every player can roll. So 1, 2. So now next player's turn is another 2, 1, 2. Once a spot is blocked, you jump over it. The next player's turn is again a 2, 1, 2. Hop. This one is free. Back to player 1. It's 1 here, so he can use another one, or he can use this one here. And the next player 4. Instead of using this here, he brings in another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and again orange. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of them are blocked, so he's going there. Everything is fine. Next player will be the blue one here. So, and now it happened. As you can see, we play the 2. So here, the blue one. Now the cockroach comes into play and he's running wild. When the cockroach is coming onto the board, unfortunately he's escaping right now, then everybody stops playing. And the cockroach tried to push all these bugs from their original spots. As you can see, there are some of these towers that makes it safe. Oh, the cockroach is coming again. You can see here. Wow. And running wild. So now he's pushing all the bugs from the spots. You can see this bug doesn't touch any other spot. Now it touches a spot. When the cockroach is vanishing like this right now, every bug will be pushed back into a position on a spot. This one touches the square here, it goes on here. But keep in mind, now the game goes on with the player's turn. So it was blue, next turn is orange, or whatever the player is, and he will play. First player who get all his bugs here will win the game. But remember, and this is really important, every time the cockroach comes into play, like right now, here it comes into the play during the looping, the game immediately stops, and every time the cockroach is pushing around these little eggs here out of the spaces here, then this would be out of the game and goes back to start. This is what is Kakerlaloop or cockroach looping all about. I try to switch now my cockroach off to make it clear that the sound is not disturbing all of us, but let's take a look at how it runs wild first. No, you can see it could running a lot of in here, and it could take a lot of time until it's going back into his position. Now it would be. So I will switch it over and turn it off. So let's talk about my thoughts about Kakerlaloop. Yeah, Kakerlaloop is obviously a game for guys. So male persons like it because there's technique in it, there are some plastic pieces in it, it looks bombastic, it's massive, it's big, but it feels a little bit out of the 80s. In the 80s it started that there was a little bit electronic involved into board gaming, so the idea of just having a race by rolling a dice, obviously not really new, but for guys it's super funny. It's a really fun thing for dad with his little son or dad with his little girl. Obviously mommy will have not so much fun with it. This is just my personal opinion, sorry for that, so don't feel disturbed by that one, because usually mommies are not super excited about plastic pieces from China with an engine in it or a battery like this. But for me it's totally, it's crazy. I mean, this little cockroach running wild on the board and pushing around these plastic pieces here. Yeah. So anyway, so I talked a little bit about role modeling, which was not my original plan. Usually I wanted to talk a little bit about Kakerlaloop. Yeah, anyway, so it's a game from 5 to 99, and I have to say, yes, yes, yes. Play that with kids of 5, 6, 7 year old. They really easily understand the rules. You can easily play it with 4-year-old kids or even 3.5 years. So, but you have to keep an eye on that. That's obviously true. But then they have a lot of fun when the cockroach is coming onto the board, running wild and making crazy things. As you give a little bit of my personal experience with this game, I took this game for playtesting to a kindergarten, to a daycare center. And what we did was, obviously in a daycare center, there are a lot of kids in the same age, in the same group. So at the end of the day, we took pre-orders for seating. So just to make sure that everybody can play it, we bring all the names on a list and fill it up with spots. Everybody wanted to play Kakerlaloop because it was such a blast, and all the other kids standing around and screaming and yelling, "Oh, the cockroach!" Screaming loud, wild. Yeah, that is my personal, or that was my personal experience with Kakerlaloop while play testing. My little girl is not old enough, so she is not can handle that. With she's only 2.5 years old, so this would be a little bit crazy for her. But I will put it on my shelf and wait 2 more years to play it with my little girl, just to let you know. So everybody who's not afraid of a lot of plastic in a game and a big box which covers a lot of shelf space, he or she will be right with Kakerlaloop from Ravensburger if you're looking for a good mixture of a little bit of technique and a board game. And of course, I will mention that again, it's a 2 to 4 player game, and you should have a group at least of 3 or 4 player for it. For kids, if you wanted to have it for adults, that's also fine. I will show it to you again. On the other side there is another board, so you can easily bring it like this. Then there are more spots. Obviously this is heavier to reach the goal, the destination, and don't take it for kids, but you can also do it less like a drinking game. Every time one of your bucks is kicked out of the game, you have to take a shot or whatever. So this is a game which fits also for adults, just to let you know, but then a little bit different, obviously. Okay, this was another Cyrils Brettspiele durchgespielt in a nutshell edition. This time Kakerlaloop or cockroach looping from Ravensburger. See you next time. If you like a format like this, please note that and please give me your feedback, subscribe my channel, and see you next time. Until then, bye bye, your Nils.